There is a moment's silence in the corridor. Fantano's corpse, lifted onto a gurney, lies still with a hole through his chest, and the Marines are crowded around Lieutenant Churchill's motion tracker, showing 3 incoming dots. The quiet is only broken by Lieutenant Farrier. Okay, Team A with me. That means you two, Beckett. We'll hold here and protect Team B's back while they go and get the power on. Does everyone understand?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
We will secure the landing zone once we are done. Either reconvene there or radio for further orders.
Ace, you and Brooks get Wynn on a stretcher or something. Make sure to give her some get her leg wrapped up. Wynn, are you with me?
Yes, Sarge.
Tell me, are you hurt or you injured?
Oh, there's a really, really large hole in my leg, Sarge.
All right, injured it is. Okay.
I moved straight to treating it as soon as there was a moment to.
Yeah, you are looking at this wound, and it is basically as if the flesh has been scratched away in like a huge V shape. She will not be able to run anytime soon.
Go straight over and grasp her hand. Don't worry. Come on, Wynn. You got this.
Yeah.
No, this sewing machine's gonna stitch you up. You're gonna get back on your feet. You all right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna go over and look at Private Fantano.
Yeah. His eyes have been closed.
Okay. I'm going to just so my soldier or my Marines don't have to do it, I'm going to strip him of his useful gear, the weapons, any extra ammunition. Seems like it said Fantano was a gun lover. He was one of those guys. So I'll see if he had any like special, like if he had any like grenades squirreled away or something like non-approved ordnance.
Make an observation roll. You find that he has a sidearm and a pulse rifle, and so you have those as well as a spare clip of ammunition.
Okay. Anybody need an extra pulse rifle?
I think
How about
we
you,
all
Doc?
are. Do you all want to address the issue that there's 3 very quickly moving dots coming towards us right now?
We're getting this situation taken care of, and then we're gonna post up inside the hangar. It's a bottleneck. You can only get through the door. So if we can get them one by one, that's what we want. But we want enough ammunition to take care of them. Now, can
What I want, says Lieutenant Farrier, is for you to get the power back on. My team will hold the hangar. That understood, Sergeant?
I'm sorry, sir. You want me to go towards the dots?
I think your team can handle that.
Lieutenant Churchill, if you don't mind, would you want something with a little extra range than your buckshot there?
I glance over at the floor where this creature is, and I sling my shotgun over my shoulder and just walk directly towards Pace and grab it. I don't think it's a bad idea.
It was you or the Tin Man over there, so...
All right.
What you want to hold? What?
What?
Who's Tin Man? Wait, do I not know nicknames? I feel like it's important to know nicknames if we're going in.
The droid.
Brooks.
Brooks?
Well, out of the two of you, you're the one that's living and breathing, you know?
I don't want to hear you say that about Brooks ever again in my presence. Do you understand me?
There's a time for this, and that's not now. Let's go. We need to move. Fall in.
Yes, sir.
Killian steps just slightly ahead of everyone. It's like through this arrivals area, through supplies, we can get there's a vent. It'll take a little bit, but we can get through way quicker than going through storage.
How is my progress with Win going?
Make a medical aid roll. You manage to basically stop the bleeding and support her leg enough that she can stand. But she's not going anywhere quickly still, but she will be able to go wherever you send her.
Until it gets to that stage, Brooks has been absolutely focused on the task of, sorting out the leg as best as can be done in the situation. Apart from briefly with the conversation between Maddox and Farrier, he does glance over and then continue with his work. He doesn't react at all to anyone else's interactions, whether they're about him or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you get to a point where you have done as much as you can as quickly as you can, and it seems like everyone's about to go.
So I'll have to do for now.
All right, Lieutenant. I want you on my hip. Calling out the locations of those fucking things, so my men up front have a fighting chance. Sound good to you?
Sounds like the only plan we have. I'm gonna stand next to Sergeant. I'm gonna show, before we start heading out, I want to look at this tracker. Have the dots moved at all? Because I know they were coming at us last time.
Yes. So, you can see 3 dots. One of them is seemingly coming through the center of the of this hab block and kind of round, and it will probably come at you from the corridor. The other 2 seem to be slower and moving through the other side to get you from the top.
I'm gonna be looking at the motion tracker, and I'll just say, all right, everybody be aware. There's those three dots right there. Now they could all be those things, whatever they are, but they could also be survivors. So make sure you know what you're shooting at before you shoot. Is that understood, Marines?
Aye, sir.
Excuse me, Sarge. These things, they came out of nowhere. They literally changed fucking color. What? They're like fucking chameleons or something. How we...
It'll be harder for them to hide if we get the lights on. Let's go. You're taking point, Pace.
Yeah, Sarge.
Who's all with us in this group?
This group is
Besides us in this.
yes. Besides you, Private Wynn, if you choose to take her, Private Dexter, and at that point, that's it.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, Pace, you and Dexter take point.
Yeah, Sarge.
Lieutenant, we'll be calling out the motion. Brooks, are you with us, or are you staying back with Wynn?
I've done
You're the
everything
medical
I can
officer,
for
make a
Win
call.
for the moment. I can come with you.
All right. Then you're with us. All right, let's head out. Go. All right, Killian. You see that old man's ass? I don't want you to ever be out of range where you can't grab it. You understand me?
We'd request, but fine, yeah.
Behind him is what I'm telling you at all times. But
Okay.
make sure you tell him where to go. All right, let's head out.
And Killian points through the door, through to supplies. Behind you, you hear the clacking of guns and equipment being readied by Lieutenant Farrier's team. And you move into a much darker part of the station.
I
Okay.
put down my my combat threat assessor.
Watch out.
There seem to be in this room several empty cryopods, and they're all hooked up to a large pipe behind. And this is where Killian points to just behind the pipe where it meets the wall. There's shimmy room through there, but it's one at a time.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I don't know what state the massive storage is in. It is never clean and easy to get through in the first place. This is quicker. I dodge through here all the time.
Lieutenant, if I'd be so kind to give us a heads up, am I expecting anything on the other side of this?
I'm consulting my motion tracker. Is there anything on the other side of this shimmy area?
No, not yet.
It looks clear right now. I can yell
I could go
if that
first.
changes.
If there's anything lying in wait, I could potentially trigger it moving.
No, we
Not
need
against it.
we need a gunman up front. All
And
right,
you are our medic,
Dexter.
so
Dexter, get in there. You're right behind him, Pace. And you, Killian, you're right behind him. Let's go.
Dexter adjusts his smart gun harness and pulls it in close, points it through the gap, and kind of shifts some of the metal out of the way unsuccessfully, and just kind of sidestep into the space between this pipe and the wall in kind of like a maintenance space.
By the way, Pace, Dexter, if you guys hear me say split, I want Pace, you go left. Just move to the leftmost wall. And Dexter, you go to the rightmost wall. Tammy's got a big mouth, and I don't want her to singe any of you.
Yes, Sarge. Just a quick one while I'm getting my ass in this tiny little crack here. Lieutenant, how exactly does that machine that you're using work?
it works by sensing.
What do you mean sensing? So,
If you're trying to make an argument with me, I think the sergeant said this wasn't the time or place, but if you'd like to go there, we can.
No, I wouldn't dream of it. I'm more asking, like, how does it work? Is it tuned to the DNA of these things? What is it?
It uses microscopic air currents.
I wasn't. I'm
That is
sorry,
correct.
Lieutenant. I misheard what you said there.
I glare at Pace, but you had mentioned when we stepped into the world, there's cryo chambers.
Yes.
So while I'm glaring at Pace, my eyes start to wander to what's in the distance. I want to know what these cryo chambers may have been for, or if they're just...
This appears to be where people get defrosted when they arrive on the station.
Is there anything out of the ordinary?
No, they appear to all be empty.
My eyes trail back to Pace. Do you have any other questions?
Well, I just wanted to know how exactly the thing. Is it gonna pick up just these things? Is it gonna pick up survivors as well? Do the blips get bigger if it's a bigger monster? What are we talking about?
Honestly, it picks up everything. Usually it does have generally the size. If it's larger, it'll show larger. It shows how fast things move too. Essentially, they're sound waves, and they create micro changes in air density, which is perceived and interpreted as sound. If you want to get technical with it.
So the bigger the sound, the bigger the dot.
Well, can it just pick up all the survivors here, or what?
You don't need to know that, Pace. Let's get going.
Sorry, Sarge.
So, I imagine that you are all having this conversation as you are very tightly squeezed and shuffling along in this maintenance space. And like at your backs, the cryo pipe is freezing. It's got frost on it. Somehow that's still working. But from up front, you hear a shout of, I think I found the end.
Oorah.
And that's Dexter saying that, right?
That is Dexter.
Okay. All right, hold position. Wait for everyone to get out of the pipe.
Okay. So, in what order
Dexter,
are you?
Pace, Killian, me, Lieutenant, Brooks.
Okay. Pace. You get out next then. And
Check the corners.
Churchill. Or in fact, everyone, first thing, you hear intense gunfire from behind you.
I'm immediately looking at the motion tracker because I was distracted with the conversation. Do I see any movement?
The motion tracker is tracking a lot of motion. There is absolutely a fast-moving dot traveling down the corridor towards the other team.
Lieutenant Farrier, you need assistance.
And with a background of bangs and screams, you just hear,
Get on with it, Sergeant. We are fine here. Roger that.
All right, don't pay it no mind. Keep going forward. Gotta get the lights on.
Dodge.
at this point, Killian's like, right. Anyone got a wrench or something?
Yeah, what
There's
do you
just
need,
one
son?
panel. Just one panel you need to take off. Then we'll be in the power generators.
How the fuck do you know about this, boy?
Because I took this whole ship apart and put it back together again. Station. Technically.
At your age, good lord. And start pulling out tools.
I learned a lot. There's a good mechanic here. Engineer. You know. Okay. Pace. Make a heavy machinery roll. Everyone hears as you begin the slow and meticulous process of dismantling a large piece of metal from several other large pieces of metal. Clinking of claws on metal.
Call it out. Where are they, Lieutenant?
I immediately, as soon as I hear the clinking, where is this thing?
Do an observation roll. Essentially, it initially looks very confusing. There's a mess of motion very close by, and that's disturbing some things. But you see one of the dots rush straight past you, and you know that they must be using some other kind of vent to get around. And it is about to come into the maintenance hall. The other
Okay.
one appears to be moving to do the pincer on the other side.
As soon as I see that, so many things are ping-ponging around in my head. So you're saying there's two, right?
There's two. The third one is tied up with the other team, but you are being pincered by them.
Okay. I'm going to lower my voice. Clearly sound draws them. They're using the vents to get around. There's one here and there's one here, and I'm going to go over to the sergeant and point at obviously where they are. I feel like we need to Be as quiet as possible.
I don't see that's gonna happen, Lieutenant. We gotta get through this. I'm gonna make some noise doing it. I'd say we just get ready. Pace, you keep doing what you're doing. You got your back. All right. I line up. I snap at Dexter.
Mhm.
Yeah, I snap at Dexter.
Yep.
And I point for him to stand right behind me, or stand right beside me. And I point at Killian, and I tell him to get back with the lieutenant.
This shifting is slow and difficult because the space is so tight. You see Dexter very, very cool and calm put earbuds in and like readjust his smart gun and like stand at the back. He's like, this is going to be really loud. You wait, and they do not seem to have attacked just yet.
Lieutenant, I want you calling out those meters.
Have they moved?
No.
It's like they're laying in wait. They heard something over here. They came to go see what it was about.
Camouflage, armored shell, tactics. These creatures are hunters.
There's nothing that's ever been like this before.
Agreed.
They're just animals. But come to where the meat is. That's right here. And we're ready for them.
Another bug hunt.
We should try to keep them, at least one of them.
Excuse me?
I thought you were going to
Promise-
finish your sentence, Lieutenant.
I
You mean
did.
keep them as, like, preserve them. I thought you meant keep them away, keep them dead or something. I thought you were going to finish that sentence.
No, we need, if we can, keep one alive.
That may be
Scientifically speaking,
that may be what happened here. They attempted to keep one.
I'll tell you what, Lieutenant. You can take back all the pieces and parts that you want. But I will not endanger the lives of my Marines by taking one back alive.
I just give a
You
measured
court-
look to the sergeant.
You can court-martial me when we get home, but I gotta put my foot down on that one.
We'll see how things pan out.
Pace, old man, you are moments from having this all done, and the tension in the air is probably killing you. Everyone, except Brooks, gain 1 stress.
Sarge, I'm ready when you are, sir.
Get it open.
Oorah.
There's a kind of creaking of metal. This panel falls into the room. Pace, you probably fall with it. This space was so compressed. And at that moment, the claws on the metal start scrambling from both directions.
One's coming in hot, Sarge. There's one on the other side of the room. We do not have much time.
Everyone is drowned out by the insanely loud churning of a smart gun. You are not hearing him stop. He has clearly not hit anything.
Get this fucking thing off me!
Brooks,
Oh,
can you-
is Pace pinned? Does he need...
I think yes. He's not like crushed, but he is stuck in place. Maddox, you are in front of Brooks because you were next to Pace, and you hear from the other side of the generators something coming at you.
As soon as that panel falls away, I'm not moving. As soon as I see, like, I'm waiting to see anything that's non-human, and I'm gonna torch it.
And
Brooks, get him up!
As soon as there's room to move, I try and get Pace out of there.
Maddox, you pile out. Brooks quickly behind you. Maddox, make an observation roll. You see movement. You don't see the whole thing. You see it bobbing up and down over pipes and generators and all this like boxes and debris. And you think you have a pretty clear shot at it. Would you like to roll your attack?
Grab him, get the flamethrower up. All right, Timmy, let's dance. And then I throw the incinerator flame out.
Can I look at my motion tracker and see if it stops moving? And where the other one might be.
The other one is still moving. At this point, it is up real close to Dexter.
Okay.
And the one in the generator room is still moving.
Okay, I'm calling out. One's on Dexter. This one's not done yet. This one's not cooked.
Brooks, Pace, you feel the residual heat of a flame gout in another direction. But Brooks, you were ordered to lift this very large piece of metal off this man.
That's what I do.
Okay. You prepare yourself properly and begin to heave this thing off of like the side of Pace.
It looks like it takes effort, but he does lift this thing that it looks like it should be very, very difficult for a human to lift.
Jesus Christ, took your time. Come on now. Get up.
All of you see a flaming, statuesque, black-skinned creature with skeletal elements and a huge, long dome out the back of its head. And it is flailing around on fire. It leaps onto Brooks, and you get pushed to the floor. As the kind of arc it travels sprays the fuel away from it, it looks really hurt. And you're trying to keep a beat on it, Maddox, but it is fast. Make an armor roll, Private Brooks. You are knocked to the floor.
I'm still like holding this big chunk of metal that I've just lifted off Pace, and like before I can lower it back down, I see this thing coming at me, and like, you know, I drop it, but I don't have much time to react. Like put my arms up, and then I'm just thrown, just like a plank onto the side, sprawling, and then just like surprised, I think, is his reaction, because like he's not scared, he doesn't really get scared, but he just like, that was unexpected. And like looking over at this thing and like trying to work out just where to go from here. But his reaction is quiet, surprisingly calm. But he's definitely taken by surprise himself.
You hear a sickening scream and then a crunch from behind you. Churchill, you're the closest. You see Dex loses his head. It appears to have grabbed him and put a hole right out the back of his skull.
is it its tail did this, or do I not even know what did it?
There appeared to be shiny, translucent teeth.
If anyone looked at me at this moment, my eyes would just be agape. My mouth is open. And I'm just watching essentially Dexter get not even decapitated, like getting his head donut holed is what it sounds like. I just point. And if anybody looks at what I'm pointing at, I don't shoot. I just get very quiet. And I go like this to Sergeant.
We never had fucking bugs like this before, you fucking dick. What the fuck are these scientists been fucking doing? Absolutely drilling into it until it stops. Until the clips run out, and I'm still just...
Okay. This thing slumps to the ground. Maddox, you've been, like, scorching it from the other side, and it is motionless on the floor.
Can I look? Okay, so the one that just, burst a hole in Dexter's head. Since no one listened to me to maybe like, let's quiet it down a minute. What's that one doing?
That one appears to be dragging Dex backwards, kind of out of the way to get to you.
So it's in a moment of vulnerability where it's kind of focused on dragging a body out of the way.
Yeah, what do you want to do?
Clearly because we're not doing this the quiet or, with a little finesse. I'm going to get my shotgun, I'm going to cock it, and I'm going to aim it at it, and I'm going to shoot it.
So, you have just watched Dexter die, and then just like wet tissue paper get torn out of the way as this thing slowly retracts its inner mouth and stomps in your direction. Make a panic roll. You get a nervous twitch as your stress level and the stress level of all friendly PCs in short range of you increases by 1. You all watch like this thing tank a shotgun blast to the chest, essentially.
You notice that my head just starts twitching, like cocking to the side every now and then in a way of like, I don't comprehend how that didn't do any damage. So I'm taking a step back, but I can't control my head at the moment. It's just kind of like twitching. And in an awe-inspired shock looking at this thing, cotton-mouthed.
Brooks.
I'm on the ground, and there is only so much that I can do in the time that I have. Seeing Churchill being approached, I'm going to get up from prone, and I'm going to move in between the two of them, Churchill and the alien, and that's all I have time to do.
Describe how you get through this space between like people and pipes and, you know, squeezed metal space to basically stand in defense of your team.
I think there's a moment where he is kind of dazed from the hit. He is bleeding is a term you could use. Hydraulic fluid is pooling a little bit around where he fell. Something inside him has burst that you know is now no longer functioning quite right, but he still seems to be able to move himself. And it's with the sort of the fluidity and sort of practiced ease that he often moves, where he just kind of knows where he needs to go and dodges how he needs to dodge, and just like doesn't even necessarily need to look. Once he knows what he's moving through, he knows how to, like, you know, position his body correctly, so he kind of dodges between pipes and quickly rushes. He doesn't have time to do anything when he gets there, but he has enough time to just step in between Lizzie and the alien and just look at it, and he doesn't have time to do anything else apart from prepare to take a hit.
It sees everyone's weapons swing around to it, and this thing slide in front of it. And it seems to take a moment to take stock of this situation. A dead comrade. And it slowly takes a step back, picks up Dexter's corpse, and skitters back in the other direction.
Grab him! Don't let them have him! If we can't shoot him, we'll starve him! And as I'm doing that, I'm pulling out my server's pistol and, like, aiming him. Alright, take a shot.
I'm reloading while I walk up next to Maddox and stand side by side.
Don't get no dinner from us!
It's a difficult shot, and you're definitely, like, pinging all around Brooks. I think it would be most appropriate for you to try a strength roll. You lunge out forward and catch onto Dex's, onto his jacket, and you feel the strength of this thing tugging against yours, but it has its claws in, and you rip at his uniform, and you are left with a scrap. At this point, you are all in the generator room without Dex anymore, and Killian is kind of getting up off the floor, brushing himself down, and with a look of fear on his face, essentially. But no one can hear anything. What are you up to, Pace?
Like, I've reloaded, shot a few guns, watched that happen, and then I look at Brooke, who, from my point of view, couldn't do his fucking job. And I see him drop the piece of fabric from Dex's uniform, and I hear a clink. I walk over, and from the bit of fabric, I pull out the dog tags that he'd also grabbed. And I literally pick up the dog tags and turn around and go, "This is the reason why we don't touch a fucking microwave with a fucking job." And put his little dog tags in my pocket. Sparkle a cigar. Fuck.
Pace, I don't think you said that when you were pinned.
Could have done that faster as well, couldn't he?
You could have not gotten pinned.
I didn't realize there was a fucking thing at the other side of that thing. Maybe if your little toy over there would have actually done something, then we would have...
Stow that shit! Eyes up, Marines!
Zorge!
We're gonna get these fucking lights on. And we're gonna head back and check on the other crew. And that's what we're gonna do.
Aye, sir.
So I don't want to hear any fucking chatter. Unless it's about something fucking dangerous or it's about the lights. Let's go. Killian, up here with me.
What do you need?
What'd I just say? Let's get the fucking lights on. Show me where to go.
Killian runs up to you, Pace, and kind of slaps you on the shoulder. It's, probably want to start looking at here, and he points at one of the generators.
All right, boy.
Lieutenant, I want you and your pulse rifle right here. Brooks, you're with the lieutenant. Pace, you let us know if you need anything. I'll cover our exit or our rear.
Pace, you're standing next to this generator with Killian, and he picks up a nearby toolbox and searches through it. Starts unscrewing one of the panels. It's like, these things don't really break down. So if there's any damage, I mean, there's look at that acid hole. It should be quick.
When it says the acid hole, is that from what we've caused?
Oh yeah, it's
okay.
It's a splash from the thing. You're a mechanic as well then, right?
Near enough. We need to get in here.
Yeah. And he pulls it open, and you really quickly realize that there's a couple of bits from this thing not having run for a little while that you need to clear out first. But after that, probably the problem with this thing is a fuel supply problem.
So tell me, Killian, how long's this been like this?
The generator,
well,
it was here when the thing was built, so
I'm assuming that it's been, how long's it been since we got the call again?
a couple of weeks.
So it's been a couple of weeks since we got the call. And these things, how long do they take to run out of fuel?
Months?
That kind of implies that somebody turned it off.
Yeah, that would be pretty weird. I don't know why.
With these generators, is there a way to stop the fuel pump from getting through to it, or is it an automated system, or is it manually fueled? How does this work?
Okay, yeah. So if you go over there, I'll fix these couple of things. It should be really quick. If you go over there, there's a pump, basically pressure valve measure area. If it's stopped, if someone's turned it off, then you'll be able to tell. And there's a flow, a flush thing that you can. It'll take a while to crank it and get it with no power, but should fix the problem if there is one. I don't know.
That doesn't leave me with much confidence. Well, all right then. What did you say your name was, boy?
Killian. What's your name?
Pace. Or you can call me old man. Everyone does.
That's funny. I was about to call you old man. It fits.
How dare you? And I
All right.
grab him on the shoulder and give him a little squeeze. And I'm like, "You're all right, son. You're all right."
He grabs your forearm and squeezes it back, and he's seems to be reassured by this, and then he turns around and jams his hand in the generator and starts fiddling around with stuff.
Sarge, just giving you an update. Seems to be an issue with the fuel pumps. Fuel pumps not providing these things, but you've got to understand that these fuel pumps actually, they normally have months worth of supply of fuel. If this thing hasn't been working for months, I'd understand it, but we've only been, 2.5 weeks since we got the original call, so just be aware that there's either some kind of sabotage or these bugs are more smart than we thought they were. Duly noted.
Churchill.
Yeah, I guess I'd look down at my motion tracker. But as I do, I'm assuming Brooks is standing next to me, or at least near me.
Yep, I'm with you.
So as I look down, you hear just under my breath, I need a cigarette.
How are you holding up, Lizzie?
Well, I need a cigarette.
That's fair. As it turns out, you chose a hell of a mission to challenge yourself.
You want to know what's crazy? I wanted to do this, like, as a scientist on this ship. But they rejected my application, so when this came across my desk, I was like, oh, I can finally see what they're doing, and clearly it was something big.
Perhaps it was for the best. I don't know if anyone here has got out of it alive.
You've seen them, though, right? You got a good look at
Yes.
it.
Up close. It's like nothing we've ever seen before.
They're incredible.
They're intelligent.
They're dangerous, but they're magnificent at the same time. It'd be a shame if we just blew them all up.
It's almost as if they're engineered. Perhaps it was the intent of somebody to design a creature capable of killing.
It has advanced, almost evolutionary armor on itself, and it can disappear if it needs. I don't know that they were able to handle it once they realized what it was capable of.
If they made it, they did not make this station well equipped enough to contain it. And if they found it, then perhaps it's best we're on a station and not a planet.
I just wish we were taking smaller steps, and I know that we can't do that all the time, and big guns. Sometimes we need to take smaller steps.
We have to prioritize human life in this situation.
I know. And I have this, like, quick flashback of seeing Dex's head essentially implode, and I kind of shake it off with a twitch. I pull up the tracker.
Lizzie, there's something. You see it twitch on the screen, and it is right on top of you. Until you tap it and the dirt moves away.
I think Brooks would notice there's like that, when someone's breathing and trying to keep like a panic attack kind of at bay, it's like that rattled breathing, and my heart rate is increasing, and I'm trying to keep my shit together. And I'm just shaking as I'm tapping this dirt off the screen. I don't see anything, Sarge.
I put a hand on her arm that she's tapping the screen with. Lizzie, it's all right.
Do you see
It
anything?
moved away for now.
Do you see anything?
There's nothing there.
Okay. I think it's just some dirt.
It moved away. We're safe for the moment. As long as we stay wary, we'll be fine. And I want to use my calming presence to reduce
does that work?
stress by 1.
Okay. Yeah, reduce your stress by 1.
It's just a lot in a very short amount of time.
Way more than we were supposed to be dealing with, definitely.
My eyes trail back down to the motion tracker.
You don't see anything. Which makes sense. The limit of this thing probably doesn't cover the dock. It doesn't cover a lot of the rest of the station. Yeah. The only other thing I was going to ask Churchill is there is an alien corpse in the room with you. Would that not pique your interest?
It would, because I was trying to look at it in the hallway, the first one that we found. So I think perhaps after Brooks settles my hand, I take a beat and I quadruple check the motion tracker. I imagine I hear a sizzle, maybe, of some of that blood kind of burning metal. And I'm going to take some calm steps towards this thing to get a closer look at it.
It's scorched. It's got multiple bullet holes in it. But it is clearly a slightly larger version of whatever was in the hallway.
I'm going to make a mental note and then realize I should be taking some notes on this. And I'm going to pull out my PDAT and just start frantically adding in notes about how the difference between the one in the hall and this one here, and the methods of death and the blood, just some very basic overview, but I'm still very my nerves are on edge. So I'm hyper-vigilantly trying to listen and not get too engrossed in it. Is there anything I notice about this that's, it's all unusual. Is there anything of note?
Yes. The method that you are familiar with in biology of changing color of skin is normally by contracting and expanding various colors of chroma cell. There is no indication that this thing has any ability like that.
Lieutenant, I see you seem to be interested in whatever the fuck this thing is. So why don't you hand your pulse rifle to Brooks there and let him take the perimeter, since you seem to be distracted a little bit. If that would be all right with you, sir.
I kind of do my head's twitching. I don't want it to twitch because it makes me look less confident than I actually feel. So I'm twitching as you're saying this to me. I suppose it's not the worst idea, but I do feel like understanding what this might be might help us in our defense. And I take the pulse rifle and I hand it over to Brooks.
Pace. You had a couple of questions about this fuel thing. So you go over there and double check it. The valve appears to be on. Should be being supplied with fuel.
I walk over to the sergeant. Excuse me, sergeant. Do you mind if I have a look at your map of the station, please?
I pull up the PDAT, hand it to him.
You check, and there appear to be fuel lines going through the core of this of the station.
Through the main lobby, so you go up
alongside the hydro tubes. Killian kind of pulls himself out. He's now covered in grease. It's did you flush it?
No, I was just checking to make sure that if there's a blockage, I can go get it sorted. Oh, Lord Jesus Christ.
The flush will fix that. That's 10,000 PSI or something ridiculous.
Boy, they call me old man for a reason. I've been there, I've done that, all right? Jesus Christ, just give me a moment to do my fucking job.
Yep.
Thank you, Sarge. I appreciate that.
No problem, old man.
Sarge, we seem to have a blockage in the fuel pipe. Now, I can flush it completely fine, no issues at all, but I can't guarantee what that blockage is. Now, if these things have got fucking acid for blood, then I'm not gonna say, if it gets mulched up inside the generator, it's gonna melt the whole thing, and that'll be game over for us. But, do you want me to climb in the fuel tube and have a look what the blockage is first?
No. I don't think it's worth the risk. If Killian says that the flush will take care of the blockage, I say go for it.
All right, sir.
Is that all we need? Do we need fuel of any sort?
The fuel should, technically speaking, be supplying this thing. I don't know why it's blocked, and this is where my confusion lies.
So once we get the blockage out, then the fuel will flow.
Theoretically speaking, yes, Sarge.
Okay. Yep. Flush it. Let's get out of here.
All right, then.
It takes a little bit of cranking and like there's levers to pull, but you finish the process and you hear like this rattling of the tube as, you know, vast amounts of fuel appear to start to cycle through this tube that you're standing next to. And you hear the kind of sloshy filling up of the generator tanks. This thing is stiff. It definitely hasn't been moved since it was installed. No one's looked in this tank. So yeah, you creak it open and you slam over this like thick, clear something, maybe aluminium, maybe perspex. You don't really know. You don't care. And shining your light, you see the kind of ring of the torch scanning over, like, you know, clogged bits of fuel. You see like slowly dispersing into the fuel, like not what's the word for like not dissolving, but just kind of moving apart, is like a clump of something.
What color is it?
Kind of like a dull gray-green.
Did it look like the blood of the acid?
No.
No.
Lieutenant, if you be so kind, you're a scientist, are you not?
Yeah, they'd call me one.
Well, what the fuck do you make of this?
So I'm assuming I could hear that this was clogged, like I overheard that conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to peek into the tank. And what do I notice?
This thing is biological. The clump.
My face would fall immediately, but then also kind of my eyes would open in a way of like curiosity as I'm looking at this. Huh.
Like a secreted resin, maybe.
That's alive.
The
That was
thing
in the
itself
tank?
isn't alive, but it was made by something alive.
But like biological meaning that it was made. Okay. Made by something that was alive?
Yes.
Is what you, okay.
It was in the tank. It was what was clogging it. I'm not entirely sure. All I know is that it's slowly but surely, congealing it. Whatever you want to call it.
Are there filters in this thing?
There will have been further back, but they deliver refined fuel, so there's no real need for them.
This is just straight fuel.
Yeah.
And it survived in this.
Well, it didn't necessarily. Like I said, it's about flushing the system. So, we've got a couple of situations. Either this was what was blocking the pipes, which meant that when I flushed it, this is what came through. In which case, it wouldn't have had any effect on the fuel or the fuel on it. Or somebody turned off the fuel further back, and the flushing swept this through the pipes with it up until this tank area.
Something put it there.
Certainly seems that way, yeah. Now I know these things are ugly son of a bitches, but what the fuck, do they spit everywhere like we do, or what?
Well, all I know is that you do not want to get their blood on you, and I take a look at his armor.
Oh,
Did that touch your skin at all?
Not that I saw. Well, not that I noticed, and I feel like the way that thing eats through hull metal, I'd probably notice pretty quick.
Well, I don't know what this is. It's
Hold
not.
up.
There's biological material in the fuel, probably from them. It's making a stew, a fuel stew with gray chunks.
Well, I assume that's fascinating to you, so why don't you bag it up and study it after we get the fuck out of here?
Yeah,
start to shimmy the perspex across and just like slide my hand through.
I'm gonna grab your arm.
What?
We just discussed acid blood. You want to touch that?
Well, if it was acid, it'd dissolve into the fuel.
We don't. Those creatures don't walk around as just acid falling off their bodies. You have to permeate their armor first. We don't know what that will do if you touch it.
Hold on, are you saying their armor is resistant to their blood? That could be useful. Killian, throw us up one of them spanners.
He like spins it across the room.
I feel like I go to catch it really cool, but it actually like collides with my arm and it just fucking jeez. And like go to scoop them up with this wrench or spanner or whatever it is he threw at me.
You now have a goopy spanner.
It might be worth looking at, so at least we know it doesn't melt metal.
Rather you than me.
I'll take the sample and I don't know, look over at the Sarge. Pretty sure it'll be fine. Don't know why it's in there.
Did you flush it yet?
Yes, Sarge. It's
Killian.
filling up now.
Where are you at?
Everything good. I've got the sequence is done. Just need to pull the go switch.
Oh, this is gonna make a hell of a noise, Sarge.
All right, everybody, be ready.
I have a thought. Before we
Please don't
start-
keep it to yourself.
Well, before we make a lot of noise, what if we tried this time finding a place to hide, so as soon as we let it rip, we can take some steps back, see if it draws them here, so at least we know that noise is bad, and maybe lighten them up, we can hide from them. I don't know. Give ourselves some more time. Get the jump on them before they get the jump on us.
Question, Lieutenant Scientist. How the fuck do you think they find us? Like, they got no eyes, they got no nose, what the fuck? Is it all just noise, echolocation? We're gonna be here, like, hunted by fucking space dolphins? What the fuck?
To be quite honest with you, I've never seen one of those before, which is why I was investigating its skeleton. I'm still trying to figure it out. I don't know exactly what it uses, but it clearly is drawn to us by something. It doesn't seem to be smell. It doesn't seem to be taste. The things that I have noticed is that anytime we've made sound, we've had them on us.
All right, Lieutenant.
Touche.
You're in charge. How shall we proceed?
Where near us would be the best place to go that there might be hiding spots? However, we haven't seen any other room besides this one, really.
I think without looking at the map, Brooks would pipe up and say, maintenance is through that door. There's 2 entrances, but they're close to each other, so we can watch them both. A little further away, security. Again, 2 entrances, but probably more secure, given the name.
So we could move into maintenance. I think we could fire it up and then get out of this room quickly. We can
Just
see.
through that door.
Lieutenant, if I may, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I would prefer to get back to the other people that we brought with us so we can all be together, group up once we get the lights on, and then we can all proceed.
Sarge, if I may, there's not a bad idea leaving somebody in the security booth for checking the cameras and what have you. Maybe Brooke. Maybe Brooke could do that, as you know, he's what he is.
I will not be leaving anyone alone in any of these rooms, let alone our only medic. Now, you may not like the fact that Brooks is synthetic, but Brooks is also the only one who can fix your ass up if you get a fucking alien claw in your throat. So, Lieutenant, my suggestion is we get the lights on, we leave before they come back, we go get our other crew, the rest of our squad, and then we proceed as a squad. But that is only my suggestion. I will follow your orders.
The only reason I'm hesitant of that is we have to shimmy to get through, unless we take a different route back. That shimmy could be life or death for one of us.
How about we contact them and have them meet us? Lieutenant Ferrier, are you there?
Yes, Sergeant.
All right. Just about to get the power back on here.
Excellent. Any problems?
Switch. However, we have encountered a couple more of those alien bastards, and they managed to kill and drag off Private Dexter.
Unfortunate.
So, how's Wynn doing?
Wynn is stable, and she can move thanks to Brooks. Not going anywhere fast, but that is not a problem. We've secured the docks. We're just waiting for the lights. Please, when you're ready.
Well,
Reconvene with us. I'd like to figure out some things about where the civilians are.
Well, when we turn the lights on, there's a good chance that the aliens are going to come, through the sounds. Because it seems like they follow either sounds or smell or something, but looking at them, they don't have eyes, ears, nothing like that. They're just claws and tails and teeth. I'm not sure exactly how they're finding us, but my guess and Lieutenant Churchill's guess is that it's something to do with sound. So, it's gonna make a big noise when we turn on the generator. Do you want to meet up with us here? Do you want us to come get you, or do you want us to stay split up, sir?
We'll come meet you. We can reconvene in the corridor.
Okay, well, what you gotta do is you come down the corridor. There's gonna be a real tight section that only fits one person at a time. You go through
You'll
this
come to us, Sergeant. I think I'd prefer that. Safer at the docks.
Alright. I'll be in contact when we head out.
Very well. Over and out.
Alright. So, what do you think, Lieutenant? Do we go get him now before we turn the lights, or after?
The only issue I see is that it's pretty easy to get backed into a corner in here, so if we have more people, it's more people who could die.
Well, more people means more guns as well.
I glance over at the body. So far, it's 1-on-1, right? We've taken out one, they've taken one.
I'm sorry, Lieutenant. We have killed, confirmed kills, 2 of them.
And they have 2 confirmed kills.
What is your point, Lieutenant? I'm sorry, sir, I don't see it.
That I think we need to try some alternative methods.
I'm open to suggestions.
I don't know that bringing more people into this room is the smartest thing, so either I believe we should go meet up with them. And not in an area where there might be a lot of sound.
So you
So we can
meet up with them. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, we go to them. We can stay in the maintenance until they come investigate, meaning the aliens. And then we
You
can
also see them through the walls with their motion tracker, if you'd like.
That's true. I have my motion tracker, you have your tracker as well. I say if we want to do it, we can flip a switch and run like hell, but
That was my original question, Lieutenant, was do we go get them before or after we turn on the lights?
I think we'd have to turn on the lights first.
If I may, excuse me, Lieutenant, Sergeant, the one good thing about turning on this generator is it'll make a hell of a racket, which does draw them here, but it does mean that it'll cover any kind of noise we're making.
So we can just run like hell, and I'm just going to once again say shimmying through that area could become very dangerous very quickly.
Well, why don't I stay here with the switch? You all make your way back, and somebody waits at one side of the shimmy, the rest of you head back through the other side, and I'll come meet you momentarily afterwards.
Killian pipes up. There's also the path through the main lobby. It's slower, but it's certainly got a lot more options to cover each other's backs.
To go through the main lobby.
We go out through maintenance, around the corridors into the main lobby, and then we can go through a couple of doors to the docks. It'll be way. safer. Probably a little bit less speedy. But yeah, there'll be space to protect each other.
We'll be able to move as a group and watch each other's backs.
One of the access vents and air vents and what have you is down there. They seem to be coming out of everywhere.
So if I pull up my PDAT, so we go from here to where we are now to maintenance, and then from maintenance to where?
Maintenance out into the corridors, and that'll just lead us straight through. It's just a bit windier than the straight shot we took.
I see. And that'll be, you think that'll be faster then?
Yeah, I don't want to go in a tunnel again.
All right. Lieutenant, what do you think of that?
It seems like instead of maybe observing it, we should get back. And you can see like a kind of a crestfallen, like, I want to study this thing a little bit, and I want to see its weaknesses. I want to learn how it moves. I want to figure out how to learn its weaknesses and its strengths, but it seems very much like we got to get back to the rest of the group. So in the interest of everybody, I'm going to take a step back from my stance. I still think that quiet is best. So if we can move quietly back after we flip the switch, I think that would be the smartest move. And if this is the path we need to take to do that efficiently without putting ourselves at risk, then we should do that. The generator will be loud enough to cover our footsteps, correct?
Good beat. Yes, sir.
Then I say we do that.
All right, everybody over to maintenance, except the people who need a. Do you need two people to flip the switch, or just one, Killian?
Just one. It's the keys turned, primers in.
All right, boy, you go with the sergeant and that, and I'll stay here. I'm the one that's lived long enough.
All right, everybody to maintenance right now, and as soon as Pace flips that switch, we are double timing it with Killian. Sorry, I got to put you in the lead because we need you to get us out of here. So I'll be right behind you with Tammy. So
that's fine.
Something you step back and I'll jump up.
We got this. Everyone gathers in maintenance. You can see the route pretty clearly now from out here. Pace, you have a very large switch to pull. Do you do or say anything as you do it?
I pull out another stub of cigar that I seem to always have a variety on me. I go to light it, and then remember what, again, Churchill said about them. Like, we only know that they have echolocation, but it could be smell, it could be something else, and I don't put it back down again. Just put it back in my pocket. And then I kind of rehearse like 2 or 3 in my brain, just 2 or 3 routes between where I am and the maintenance store, because I'm very aware that there's a good chance that these things are going to come out of everywhere. So I want to know that I've got alternate routes. And then...
Oh, God damn it. They say, proudest thing in a man's life is living for the core. This is not what I expected. Okay, come on now. Nice and easy, no judders, no stalling, let's get it going. And...
There's a clunk and slowly accelerating whirring, and the lights flicker on. And this thing begins to pick up speed and noise and shakes a little bit, and you can all feel it under your feet through the metal plating. But things start to flicker on. Various screens and bits of debris that clearly used to be something spark on the floor. You all gather together and slowly, cautiously, with weapons drawn, make your way through the path back to the docks. Every now and again, you hear skitters and clanks from various directions. And Churchill, you check your motion tracker. You are vindicated. At least 5 of them, have poured into the generator room. They just seem to be slowly checking the area.
I take a look at it. All right, looks like we can avoid all of them if we just keep moving.
Eventually, after a lot of flinching and noises in the dark, you all arrive back at the docks. After all of you lose 1 stress, Farrier is there waiting for you with pulse rifle in hand. Excellent work, team. I have some good news. We managed to get into the computer system. There are several life signs in the laboratory, and one in the hypersleep pods. We decided that we have Win here and some auto turrets to defend the transport. I'm going to take Team A to the laboratories. I'd like you to check on the civilian in the cryosleep pod.